Wow! Hey y'all, it's Vinny! Hey! I wasn't about to do no PowerPoint because y'all know I got like severe anxiety and I don't want to be presenting in front of no class with no PowerPoint. So I was like,
video, here we come!
I chose Jamaica because that's where I'm from, that's my culture. I wasn't born there, but my family was born there. I'm gonna start off with the population. The original inhabitants on Jamaica were the Arawak people, and they boated from Central America and they got lost and found Jamaica and they named it Xaimaka. Because I'm pretty sure that's how you say it, like, because I
remember we taught in kindergarten that X is pronounced like X. So every time I see this name, I think it's Xaimaka, which I'm pretty sure it's called like Taimaka or something like that.
That word means rich of land and water. So, that's what they named it. And these people settled here for thousands of years, but the Jamaican people now have not come from that population. The British came over and they killed off all the Arawaks in the slave trade. And because of this, they had to import African slaves over. This was harsh on the Africans who were stripped from their homeland. Families were ripped apart, they were forced on these boats, didn't know where they were going, couldn't speak the same language. Some of the slaves were worked so hard that their muscles parted from their bones. And this must have been extremely painful. Because they couldn't work, they refused to work because of the pain. They got whipped. Later on, there was too many rebellious slaves. A lot of them escaped to a group called the Maroons in the mountains. And this group rebelled against masters all the time. And they rebelled for like 100 years or something like that, 100, 200 years, until 1834, slavery was abolished, and they were allowed to make their own settlements. They were allowed to make whatever they wanted now, they were free. And that's the population now today, so the population comes from those slaves. The territory is Jamaica. It's the whole island of Jamaica. Jamaica's been independent since 1962, August 6th. So the culture of Jamaica, their food involves curry, rice, patties, dumplings, plantains, and there's so much more. It originated from the slaves. The slaves had to make their own food, and they had to make the food from the plants and animals that were around them, and the food that the masters gave them. If the master gave them oxtails, they would have to find a way to make food with that. And that's one of the dishes too. They found a way to make these dishes, and that the food in Jamaica now originates from the slaves. Now, a lot of the curry and the rice and the fish, things like that, were influenced a little bit before their independence by Indian and Chinese immigrants. They came over to work as laborers. They influenced the Jamaican food as well because they were there for so long. So they added the curry and the rice to it, and this bumped it up a notch. Now the religion in Jamaica, Jamaica's religion is mostly Christian, but they also have Rastafari, which is what Jamaica is known for. It's a belief of a god in Ethiopia. He's not really a god, but he's the emperor of Ethiopia. His name is Haile Selassie, and he's also known as Jah in songs. The religion, you have to do things that are natural, and that means eating non-processed food, wearing dreadlocks, and sometimes smoking weed because it's directed from the earth. Why dreadlocks? And dreadlocks is because it's natural to not touch your hair, not to cut it. Like African American hair is supposed to dreadlock. It'll knot up even if you didn't do anything to it. They naturally just form into dreadlocks. Their beliefs are expressed in reggae because they don't have a Bible. Their Bible is in the music. Another part of our culture is our hair. Now African Americans are just known for their hair, like their afros, their braids, their cornrows, things like that. The Africans in Africa back then showed their status through their hair, like it showed that they were pregnant, if they just got eloped, if they were just widowed, things like that. This was passed down to Jamaicans, and because our hair is exactly like the Africans, we do exactly what they did. Our hair is very coily and kinky, like really curly hair. It has to be maintained for it to grow, to be healthy. Oils from your scalp travel down the hair shaft. But our hair is kinky, like it's really like coily like this. So it's hard for the oil to travel through that spiral. So it dies, the hair dies really quickly. And French braids is the exact same as cornrows. It's just that the Europeans stole it and call it French braiding. Dreadlocks is how our hair is naturally supposed to go. The hairs will just be there and they just naturally they curl up on each other, and they curl up so much on each other that they just form like one thing. And those hairstyles that we did in the slave days is exactly what we do to this day. We still corner our hair exactly like we did then. Music is something that's in our culture. Reggae, that's a popular thing in Jamaica. There's also like rap reggae, which is just like rap but in reggae form. Reggae is just one thing that's just passed down from the African slaves. Now let's talk about the language. Oh my gosh, because people are always like,
oh, they were talking Jamaican, I couldn't understand them.
It's called patois, but it's technically called Jamaican Creole. This is a combination of African languages. When the slaves were captured, there's over thousands and thousands of different tribes, and they all speak a different language. When the Europeans came and they took all the slaves, they took all the Africans, they didn't care who was who, what was what. They just snatched and they ran. And the Africans couldn't talk to each other. There'd be over 300 people on one boat. Only 10 of them would have the same language as you. They combined their languages to make one. Alright, so the government. Their prime minister his name is Andrew Holness. The queen is Queen Elizabeth II, and the governor is Patrick Allen. I don't know what else to say for the government.
Anyways.
Yeah, the websites I use. Bye!